with the Canadian-Ukrainian community that goes back decades and even longer. It was the Conservative government of Stephen Harper that moved to kick Putin out of the G8, making it the G7. It was the Conservative Party that first recognized Ukraine's independence from the then Soviet Union in 1991. It was the Conservative government that first provided military aid to Ukraine back in 2014, a decade ago, when the other parties refused to support it. And it will be Conservatives who will continue to stand with the Ukrainian people now against the illegal, unjustifiable, and ego-driven bloodshed initiated by Vladimir Putin and the Russian military. We've opposed this invasion from the start, and we will oppose it until the end. We will oppose it, and we will support the Ukrainians in their courageous battle against the Russian invasion, and we will do it with real, solid, and material support. This war will not, for freedom and the freedom of the Ukrainian people, will not be won by press releases, announcements, and photo ops. It must be won with substance. So we appreciate when the government announces sanctions, but we will speak out again and again against our government for allowing Canadian-made detonators to go to Russia and be used in explosives against the Ukrainian people. That is wrong. We will stand up and speak out against the news that just came out this week that Canadian electronics have found their way into Russian drones that are being used to target Ukrainians. We spoke out when the Canadian government signed an export permit for Putin to take a Montreal refurbished turbine and put it in his pipeline so that he can pump gas into Europe and make money to fund his war machine. We will stand up every day and every way in favor of the export of 83,000 CRV-7 missiles that the Ukrainian government has asked for. We are not using them anyway. They are being disposed of here in Canada. The Ukrainian military has made it clear that it can use these missiles to fight this war. We call on the Canadian government to immediately make these 83,000 missiles available to the Ukrainian people in the defense of their land. We also call on the government to keep its promise that thus far has been broken to deliver air defense systems, $400 million of which were announced on January 10th, 2023, more than a year ago, and still not delivered. We want these systems to be delivered so that Ukrainians can fight back against the evil attacks that come from the sky. These are the material steps that we can take to help Ukrainians win, and Conservatives are standing with the Ukrainian people in that enterprise right until victory occurs. Thank you for that. And I will add, it is the right thing to support Ukraine, but it is also the strategically smart thing for Canada. Not only do we owe Ukraine friendship because of the 1.5 million Ukrainians that came here and settled the farmlands of the West and built the businesses of Etobicoke and scattered across our land to build our country in 1.4 million different ways, but also we share the same threat. Putin has said he wants our Arctic. We know that once he defeats one country that he invades, he will move on to the next. His appetite for expansionism is insatiable. All those who wish to protect and preserve security around the world and defend the sovereignty of peoples everywhere must stand with Ukrainians who are fighting for us all. And so we will stand, as we always have, as Conservatives with the Ukrainian people in order to defend their liberty and the universal values of human freedom. Thank you very much for your courage, for your endurance. We stand with you now and always. Slava Ukraini. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 years ago, this war started. Ted Opitz and I were actually on the Maidan when the little green men from Vladimir Putin showed up in Crimea. For 2 years now, we have witnessed this full-scale invasion. For 2 years, all of us have witnessed the war crimes being carried out by Putin's barbarians. And for 2 years, we have witnessed the courage and the bravery of so many Ukrainians who have stepped up to defend their homeland, to stand up for human rights, to stand up for their communities, and really they are standing up for each and every one of us because of our shared values. And for us to help with the humanitarian effort. You've opened up your homes to welcome in those seeking asylum. You've opened up your businesses and hired those that have come from Ukraine to find shelter here in Canada. And you have been steadfast in your support of Ukraine and making sure that the rest of Canada is there with us. As conservatives, we believe that we have to hold Putin to account for all the war crimes that he's allowed to be committed against the Ukrainian people. He needs to be hauled up in front of the Hague himself. It's time for us to bring home all the Ukrainian children that the Russian military has abducted and have sent off to Russia to be brainwashed. Look at as those brave people in Ukraine are fighting for our shared value of human rights, freedom, democracy, and their right to self-determination, to be more integrated with the European Union and to become a member of NATO. We support those efforts. But as we sit here, I know our clergy here is with us, that we pray for peace. We pray for an end to this war. But we know that is only possible if Ukraine wins this war. We know we can't trust Putin. A piece of paper is worth nothing with a signature.
Can't trust Justin either. Can't trust him.
That's why we have to get rid of the Russian invaders. And the only way we can do that is we have to send more weapons. We have to send more munitions. Let's send those CRB-7 rockets that are sitting in Saskatchewan. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, those rockets are right now slated to be disposed of. And the government of Ukraine has officially asked for these rockets to help push back the Russian military. We are right now scrapping armored ambulances and light armored vehicles because they're too old for the Canadian military. But I tell you, the Ukrainian armed forces would love to have them so that they are better protected on the front line. So let's send our surplus armored vehicles. Let's send over our extra munitions. And let's build more Canadian-made armaments, munitions, and ammo so that we can help Ukraine win this war. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Thank you.